months. But let's go to our euro chart, right? Okay, so here's that euro chart. And again, this is going back to the 2014 high. And we have trend lines drawn off of various highs back in 2018. And you can see here, there was support, right, in 2020. The bottom one here was support. Okay, and again, we also have that 618 retrace from 2017 up to 2018, which is 1186.5. It's the exact level that we made low in November. And since then, we've gone essentially nowhere. However, you know, is this a little base before we rip, or is this a little sideways consolidation before we dump? Well, given everything I've said, I lean towards the former, and that is I'm looking higher or thinking higher in euro. Again, this is for you, those of you that read the stuff. This is my trigger line, so to speak. You can see all the beautiful little lows that it crosses, and it was resistance in November and December. And so far this year, it's been support each day this year, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So really, there's not any room for error, you know, if you're going to go higher, okay? I mean, really, your breakout level, call it as a 1380 or so, pretty clear level there, right? Boom, get above there, and then off to the races you go. And, you know, your regular chart levels, right, would be you're looking up at like 115, you know, 50 or so, and then the 117 level. But, you know, who knows what kind of calendar here the, you know, FX market is on. You could go nowhere fast. So we'll see. You know, like last year, for example, right, we had the high was on January 6th, right, first week of the year. If you remember, the psychology then was pretty much the exact opposite. It was probably a little more extreme, actually, where, you know, the dollar was going to die, and that was a pretty big consensus trade. And I was pretty vocal about being a euro bear, dollar bull at that point. And then here we are a year later, and it's pretty much the exact opposite. I wouldn't say that dollar higher is necessarily consensus, but I have, if you go to Google and type in US dollar, and you get, you know, you'll get a lot of forecasts for 2022 calling for, you know, a lower euro and a higher dollar. So I haven't really gone through all of the, you know, usually you can find something good on Bloomberg about, like, you know, all the forecasts from all the banks and stuff, and big shops. So I have not gone through that quite yet. But from a technical perspective and a timing perspective, you know, can make a good case for a higher euro here. Also, we're going to look at some stuff. It's a bit different. Okay, so again, this is work that goes back many years. I wrote an article, again, I think this might have been for like either SFO magazine, which I don't even know if that exists anymore, or maybe it was Technical Analysis, Stocks and Commodities. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but obviously still have all of my you know, indicators and setups and stuff like that programmed in. And this, the red and blue dots that you see on this chart, if you can see them, okay, are what those mean. That's a dot that's placed when you have an this is a monthly chart, okay, when you have an inside month, and the bar prior tags the upper or lower Bollinger Band, right? 2 standard deviations from the mean, okay? So I call it the inside BB, all right? The logic behind it's pretty simple, right? So in a trend, market's going in one direction. If you get an inside month, right? I mean, I guess you could run this on any time frame, but, you know, a month, you're going to get first of all, you're going to get false signals anyway, but you're going to get a lot of false signals if you run it on anything shorter, I would think, than on a month. But if you get an inside month, then by definition, you did not make a lower low or a higher high. So by definition, the trend is paused at least. Well, if it's paused before a trend can reverse, it has to pause, right? So that's why it's a warning sign. All right, so let's look at this. So last month, this is DXY. Okay, last month, that's why we have a red dot here. We had a inside month, and we were tagging the upper Bollinger Band. I'll throw up a Bollinger Band here for you. Hold on here. There you go. All right, so you can see it. Tagged the month prior, inside month. So just a warning signal, if you want to call it that. Again, now we had a false signal back in October of last year, right? That would have been a bullish one. It would not have worked out. You got zero follow through on that, by the way. It's straight down. We did get a warning sign for a top, though, back in April, right after the crazy March move. Top back here. You can see you've gotten some really big, some really big signals here in terms of highs and lows. If we look at Euro itself, you can see we got the inside BB obviously here, blue. Last one's back here. Again in April 2020, after the whole COVID psycho March 2020 month. You can see for yourself. I mean, you've got a bunch of pretty decent warnings at lows or near lows or before the market takes off to the upside. I had one back here in November of 2000, which was the month after the all-time low for euro dollar, not Deutsche Mark or anything like that, but since inception of the euro. Okay, so thought that you'd find that interesting.